Hi, this is Anna Crowe with the Get Real podcast, where CEOs, CMOs, and communications experts share their real advice. It's 6 questions under 9 minutes because we get to it real fast. So let's get to it. I'm thrilled to have today's guest on. In a few sentences, could you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Hi, I'm Stephen Ebbett, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of American Addiction Centers. We are the nation's leading substance abuse provider, helping people with drug and alcohol addiction and co-occurring mental health issues.
Very cool. You guys are doing such important work, and I'm just thrilled to connect with you today.
Thank you.
What would you say is the best thing about being a leader in your industry?
I think the best thing about being a leader in my industry is having profound effects on people's lives, really truly changing the trajectory of an individual's life, of a family's life. We all know someone who's been touched by addiction, and particularly during coronavirus, mental health issues have spiked, which has led to an escalation in substance abuse. And I just really value making a difference and seeing someone get back on their feet, you know, rekindle their career, create connections back with their family they may have been estranged from. Seeing someone in our alumni program, who's been 5 years clean and sober, doing great, married, children, holding down a good job, that's very, very rewarding.
I bet that's extremely rewarding. And to your point, I've seen some stats from this year that are not very positive when it comes to substance abuse and addiction. So it's fantastic that you and the organization you're a part of are doing such important work for the people and their families, like you said.
Yeah. Unfortunately, there's a very strong correlation between mental health and substance abuse. And I think all of us are experiencing challenges with our mental health during these unprecedented times.
Yeah, absolutely. I hear from other leaders that creating authentic connections can be challenging when there's a lot of noise out there. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it is challenged, but I think it's important for leaders to lead with authenticity. I think to be transparent, to be concise and clear about what's happening in the organization, not trying to necessarily sugarcoat everything. I think that's really, really important to people. And I think it's also important in terms of authenticity for leaders to lead as human beings and not to try and be superhuman. I think if we show a little bit of vulnerability as leaders, people respect that and resonate with that, and they know that you're going through similar hardships that they may be going through. So I think authenticity is a key ingredient to strong leadership.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. And it's interesting. I was chatting with someone the other day about the concept of being a fearless leader and how it's really not about being fearless anymore. We all have fears, right? But it's about being transparent, being resilient, and being strong to be able to come across challenges and face them. But we're all humans. Everybody has fears. And I think this year really showed people what things that we weren't really predicting, right?
I couldn't agree more. I think it's important. A mentor once taught me, show your vulnerability. That's the hardest thing for a leader to do. We're sort of taught, and there's a belief system that you have to try and be, bulletproof. But show that you're vulnerable, and show that you're compassionate, and show that you care, and show that you resonate with the challenges that people are going through. This is a unprecedented year for leaders, and I think it's a good opportunity for them to show who they are as human beings.
Definitely. Do you have any other real advice for other leaders? Is there anything else that you think is really important?
Yeah, there's a couple of things that I think that are really important. I think one of my sort of life mottos is carpe diem, seize the day. And again, it was my life motto really for many, many years, but I think this year has come into focus even more so. Every opportunity, every day is a new opportunity to do something special, to make a difference, to make a change. I think we've seen how fragile humanity is during the last 6 months. This isn't a dress rehearsal, and life, take every opportunity you get, both professionally and personally, and do what you love and do what you enjoy. And your career is short, and make sure that you're doing work you're truly passionate about and that you truly believe makes a difference, because you don't want to live a life of regrets later.
Mhm.
Professionally, we have a short life, maybe 40 years of professional life. Do what makes you happy and do what makes you feel proud of.
That's great advice. Thank you for sharing that. Well, before we get to our final question, are there any other successful executives such as yourself that you would like to give a shout out to or think should be on this podcast?
I am going to shout out to two Craigs. One is a gentleman called Craig Lemasters, who was my mentor for close to 10 years. Very, very wise individual, was the CEO of a public company called Assurance, and has now gone on to do his own consulting business called GXG. I think he'd be a great addition to this show, incredibly wise, and just a fantastic example of leadership and authenticity. And another Craig, Craig Cecilio, who is the CEO of a startup here in town, who I've become familiar with recently and worked a lot with. Huge passion, huge drive, riding a lot of kind of growth and challenges at the moment. I think he'd be a great guest for this show.
Fantastic. Well, our last question is a bit of a nostalgia question, if you will. Can you tell us about your first job?
My first job, I was 15 and I lived in London, and I helped a painter decorator scrub tobacco stains off the walls of a flat that they were doing up, and someone who'd smoked 80 cigarettes a day in this room. And I had to scrub tobacco stains off the walls for 2 weeks, and it wasn't the most pleasant work, but it really taught me the value of getting your hands dirty, working hard, and probably the hardest job I've ever had still to this day.
Wow, very cool. Well, how can people get a hold of you or learn more about what you're doing?
Yeah, please feel free to get a hold of me on LinkedIn, and Stephen Ebbett is my name, or you can look me up through our American Addiction Center's website and our Contact Us forum. And I'd be more than happy to connect with anyone. Truly believe that substance abuse and mental health issues and treatment for those issues should be available to everyone. So anyone who reaches out, I'll make sure that I point you in the right direction.
Fantastic. Appreciate you joining us today, and thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Anna Crowe. For more insights, visit us at crowepr.com. Thank you.